माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा। नाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरुदेव की जय। Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to ISKCON Seshadripuram daily Bhagavatam class. Today, Friday. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. Share the screen for today's verse. And today's verse for Canto 32, chapter number and verse number 18. Srimad Bhagavatam. त्रैवर्गिका से पुरुषा त्रैवर्गिका से पुरुषा त्रैवर्गिका से पुरुषा विमुक्ता हरिमेधशः विमुक्ता हरिमेधशः विमुक्ता हरिमेधशः कतायं कतानियोरु कतायं कतानियोरु विक्रमस्य मधुदिविषः विक्रमस्य मधुदिविषः त्रैवर्गिकास्ते पुरुषा विमुक्ता हरिमेधशः कतायं कतानियोरु विक्रमस्य मधुद्विषः त्रैवर्गिकास्ते पुरुषा वैमुक्ता हरिमेधशः कतानियोरु विक्रमस्य मधुद्विषः त्रैवर्गिकास्ते पुरुषा विमुक्ता हरिमेधशः कतानियोरु विक्रमस्य मधुद्विषः. Synonyms: Trivargika, interested in the three elevating process. Te, those. Purusha, persons. Vimukta, not interested. Harimedashaha, of Lord Hari. Katayam, in the past times. Kathaniya, worth chanting of. Uru Vikramasya, whose excellent prowess. Madhudvishaha, the killer of the Madhu demon. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation of this verse: such persons are called Trivargika because they are interested in the three elevating processes. They are averse to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can give relief to the conditioned soul. They are not interested in the Supreme Personality's pastimes, which are worth hearing because of his transcendental prowess. According to Vedic thought, purport. According to Vedic thought, there are four elevating principles, namely religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Persons who are simply interested in material enjoyment make plans to execute prescribed duties. They are interested in the three elevating processes of religious rituals, economic elevation, and sense enjoyment. By developing their economic condition, they can enjoy material life. Materialistic persons are therefore interested in those elevating processes, which are called Trivargika. Tri means three. Vargika means elevating processes. Such materialistic persons are never attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they are antagonistic towards Him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is here described as Arimedaha, or he who can deliver one from the cycle of birth and death. Materialistic persons are never interested in hearing about the marvelous pastimes of the Lord. They think that they are fictions and stories, and that Supreme Godhead is also a man of material nature. They are not fit for advancing in devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Such materialistic persons are interested in newspaper stories, novels, and imaginary dramas. The factual activities of the Lord, such as Lord Krishna's acting in the battle of Kurukshetra, or the activities of the Pandavas, or the Lord's activities in Vrindavana or Dwaraka, are related in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which are full of the activities of the Lord, but materialistic persons who engage in elevating their positions in the material world are not interested in such activities of the Lord. They may be interested in the activities of a great politician or a great rich man of this world, but they are not interested in the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Here the purport ends. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहनरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहनललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुतदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna. Just now we read the verse and the purport. So let us connect where we are in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we will get into the verse. For the connection sake, we are in third canto, that is called status quo. So already we have discussed about creation and annihilation in first canto and second canto. The third canto is like government is passing some amendments and coming and checking whether everything in place or not. So that is a brief introduction about this canto is all about, and especially this division of this chapter is all about appearance and teachings of Lord Kapila. That is from chapter number 21 to 33. It goes on. Right now we are in 32nd chapter. So it's all about the discussion between the Lord Kapila and his mother Devavati, mother Devavati, and so where the thread, the discussion starts here is all about samsara. The theme we have been discussing from chapter number 30 to 32. The question raised in the 29th chapter, second verse. Please describe samsara of jivas. What is this samsara? So the samsara means the repeated birth and death. So this repeated birth and death is there for every ashrama and every varna, right? Whomever it may be. So Krishna created this Maya system, all those things. Yes, Krishna only created all these varnas and ashramas. Right? Is there anybody exceptional from this repeated birth and death? Nobody is exceptional from repeated, birth and death. So that is the reason we have to come out of this repeated birth and death. So how to come out of this, and what is the solution for this problem, and how the nature of this present situation, and how fast we can come out, when we can come out, through which process we can come out. These all are million-dollar questions here. Material science. And now the point here, what one should be mindful before getting into this verse is all about how here Lord Kapila criticizes Sakama Karma, superiority of Bhakti, so Bhakti Yoga. So here he concludes in the 32nd chapter how difficult this material world is and how great this Bhakti Yoga process is all about. So one should be mindful, to get into this verse for understanding all this subject matter. And also Kapila criticizes Sakama Karma, the flow of this chapter. As I mentioned, the chapter is the entanglement in fruitive activity. So we all are entanglement in the fruitive activity. So how to come out of this entanglement of continuous birth and death. This process is called samsara. So, so in connection to that, they are interested. So only the entangled people, right, not devotees. The entangled people are caught into this. What is that? Dharma, artha, kama, not even moksha. So the entangled people. Here in the purport, I would like to repeat the purport what we read here. So So the people, the materialistic persons are never interested in hearing about the marvelous pastimes of the Lord. You see how many of us are there, right? Though there are various reasons. There are various reasons. Right now we are, I'm seeing five participants in this. Maybe a few participants in the YouTube and Facebook. It's not a fault, but this is the nature. One should understand what is the position of all of us in this materialistic world. This is a perfect example for understanding our position today. Okay, so how to come out of this entanglement? Okay, first let us understand what is this dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma means what? Prescribed duty that we do according to the Lord. Lord said, varnashrama dharma. Even I don't have that knowledge, what to do. That understanding also only with materialistic propensity. I'm into some job. So few of us are there here. Everybody associated with some profession. I'm so loyal to my boss. I'm so loyal to. Okay, that is the first thing. Why I should be loyal? I should go to office. I should get into my daily routine. Why? Because then from that I will get artha. What is that artha? I will get money from that. If I do that, then I'll get some benefit. Okay, that is also not condemned. Dharma, artha, kama. Should I stay? We will discuss what is that karma. Then I do some work and I will get some returns from that. Then what is this karma? One should be very mindful about these three processes. With that money, I can fulfill my senses. My sense needs very opulent car. My sense needs very opulent breakfast, lunch, dinner. My sense needs very opulent dresses. I should wear. Yes, all those things are. Shall we stay there only? If I stay within this entanglement of this dharma, artha, kama, then that's all about this life. Now, our point of discussion is Lord Kapila wants all of us, or Lord Kapila wants to enlighten his mother and disciple Devahuti to come out of this entanglement of samsara. I don't want no more birth. I don't want. Then what to do? What is the next level? Right? The kama means getting into everything in the material understanding. So she's my wife, they are my children, right? Doing everything in the materialistic propensity. So how to understand that? Rather, so it is not condemned that we should not marry, we should renounce all our professions. Say, I'm a software engineer or a professor or whatever the profession we are. We have to renounce everything and then we have to get into the sannyasa or whichever the ashrama or something. So the point here, the subject to discussion is, am I a devotee? Am I aspiring my thought process beyond all this dharma, artha, kama, moksha? So here Prabhupada very nicely in English, he mentioned that this dharma, artha, kama, moksha, what Prabhupada mentions here, religiosity, dharma. Then economic development, that is called artha. I do some job, then I will get some returns from that. Then sense gratification. What is the sense gratification? Kama, I want this, I want everything in the materialistic propensity. And then finally liberation. So we will discuss more elaborately about the liberation. As a devotee, we should not aspire, we should not stand within this liberation also. The pure devotee should go beyond this liberation, right? So that is premable. That, so the point here it is, the Lord, I mean, Prabhupada or a Lord Kapila is not mentioning to renounce, your religiosity, renounce your, don't renounce, your, economic development and sense gratification. So we all know that. So religiosity means so only for the namesake. So if there are any festivals, we can find so much of crowd in many places of temple or etc etc. We try to, as a guru's point of view, if they try to find any one pure disciple or any one devotee, definitely it's a big question mark in Kali Yuga. Why? Krishna only mentioned Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. It's very rare, not that easy to find such a realized soul, right? So, though I'm following a dharma or whatever, in what mood I'm following. Then economic development. Economic development is not condemned, but in what mood I'm doing it, right? Keeping always sense gratification as the and see, this is for devotees. We are speaking very sattva mood, but the economic development is the biggest challenge in today's context. People making money with especially abominable activities. Right? India is the second largest beef exporter. Right? We say so many facts in India, right? Country like India, very those who are born in India, it is very fortunate, no doubt about it. If there is no value system in India, then nowhere in this planet we could understand what is the position of this, and even for whom this knowledge should be reached. Sripad Ramanujacharya said, "Kadal Surna Manulagam should enlighten with this Vedic knowledge." What is that? Kadal Surna Manulagam. The land area which is surrounded by water should be given this knowledge. Which knowledge? The revealed knowledge, what we have been discussing. And this economic development is not condemned. In what mood I am making. So, in what way I am making. This economic development, people, as I gave some reference that second largest beef exporter, right? India, after Brazil or some particular country, if I'm right. Then, in what way Prabhupada mentioned and the scriptures mentions four regulative principles. Through gambling, there are many developed countries minting money like anything or looting money from. Why even in India there were a time with lottery, right? Through lottery system, there were many people losing their what to say wealth. Still, I remember, so like exam results, the lottery results they will announce after some time. All people, those who earn very little money or the daily, bread and butter, so they are giving all those things. Even since we are in Bangalore, I could, relate. There are many daily wages. I remember, I associated when I was young with one of the business process. So the daily payment or the weekly payment will be received by the workers. Immediately they'll go to the race course. There they have a greedy to get betting and all these things for economic development in a reverse way. I'm talking even beyond dharma, mean below the dharmartha, kama moksha, and then going to the betting and this. And even I heard, since I'm in a teaching profession, I'm a professor in one of the college. So I heard, many students getting into this betting, cricket betting, and they will be collecting money from their friends and without the knowledge of their parents, stealing money from house, then finally stuck up with so much of this thing, committing suicide, all these things, the economic development, we are talking about. And there are many people making money through, you know, this liquor. I am a owner of this liquor industry, liquor factory. I am the owner of this meat factory. I am the owner of this brothel house, the prostitution house, and minting money through that or trying with the shortcuts, all these things. That's what we have been seeing in every profession. All this how the Kali Yuga is running behind two things. One is about money, another one is woman hunting or any gender, both the way. Right? So that is the end for this economic development with this in the intention of dharma. Then karma, right? I'm not satisfied with whatever I have. I want this, I want that. Whatever the way I want to make money, I want to make money, I will achieve. So, in this purport, at the end, particularly Prabhupada also related the example, the one who is in the materialistic propensity, how their life will be. Here it is mentioned, they may be interested in the activities of a great politician or a great rich man of this world, but they are not interested in the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Activities of the Supreme Lord is next. First, materialistic person who engage in elevating their position in the material world are not interested in such activities of the They will not get into that. Even I'm talking even beyond that. Economic development without at least karma kanda also not there in Kali Yuga, I mean to say. Dharma also not. Dharma totally vanished. Only adharma only almost. That is the reason we are in Kali Yuga. Otherwise we will be in the Satya Yuga. Right? We all know the deterioration of people's mindset. In Satya Yuga we all are perfect. Then in the Treta Yuga, 25% corrupted. Then Dwapara Yuga, 50% corrupted. Kali Yuga, 25% corrupted. In this 5,000 years, even that percentage that, all those things are vanished. So now it is very hardly, we have to find that Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such a person, it's very difficult to find. So that is a point here. Now we'll move to this karma. This karma, as we all know, whatever the means I should attain that particular material sense gratification. Right? That is the biggest unfortunate thing in the Kali Yuga. Making money with whatever the means. Right? Why, if I am not getting that, then I am into karma, getting into all this, what is it, gambling, meat eating, this prostitution, and then all this abominable, getting into abominable activities. Now the point here is how one should elevate. This karma stands for desire, pleasure, and sensual enjoyment. We discussed elaborately about dharma and artha. It is dharma means the so sincere towards my daily routine. I am working for an office that this. Artha means making money, and then kama means desire, pleasure, sensual enjoyment, the material comfort. Right? I want to be within this, material comfort. I want this, I want that. No end for it. Getting into all this relationship with the arts, music, other forms of enjoyment. Kama is seen as an essential part of human life, but should be pursued within the bounds of dharma without causing harm to oneself or others. Is it there in today's context? Definitely not. I'm so greedy. That itself a karma here. And where is the question of moksha? Right? So the karma we understood clearly. And this, I'm so desirable. What is meant by Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha means what? Where there is no anxiety. So are we with I'm having karma? Where is the question of elevating up to the Vaikuntha? That let us discuss about more detail about moksha. So in moksha, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, there are three types of mokshas. What are five types of mokshas are there? Right? Share the screen is possible. There are five types of moksha. Try to share this. So now we are very clear with dharma, artha, kama. So now we are going to the next point called moksha. It's all very nice picture. I don't know where it is. It's okay. could not share it. Okay. So we'll discuss. I'm not able to share that. So different mode. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna, devotees. Could you see the screen, all of you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, it's visible, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. So there are 5 types of liberation: Salukya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sayujya, Saristi. So here in the picture itself we can understand Salukya, promotion to same planet as Lord. So where the Lord resides, that is at least the one pious people would aspire for the liberation. But for the pure devotee, this liberation also doesn't matter. So once I remember Srila Prabhupada's first time or Lilamrita, once one devotee was asking Prabhupada, if at all you get a chance, or you want to, what do you want to become? Prabhupada's mood is, he exhibited, I want to become a devotee in a Patala Loka to preach. That should be the pure devotee will not aspire for this all these things. How the Gopa Gopis, we all know Krishna's headache. I least bother about any consequences. My full surrender is there for the Lord. That is most important. So Alukya, we all could take place in the planet as the same planet as Lord. We could reach where the Lord resides, according to Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Samipya, becoming an associate of the Lord. So what is this different? Yes. So it's like this. So, so right now, we are seeing 5 in the image in our screen. Salukya. The Salukya, this refers to residing on the same planet with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the spiritual world. Then Sarupya, attaining a form similar to that of Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. So we also looks like the Lord. That is a power. So in one sense, this Sarupya we could, I don't want to speculate. Sarupya attaining a form similar to that of Supreme Lord in the spiritual realm. Then Samipya being in close proximity to the Supreme Lord, experiencing His divine presence, etc. Then Sarsti, processing opulence similar to those of Supreme Lord. Then Sayujya, merging into the effulgence of the Supreme Lord, though this is not considered the highest goal in our parampara. Sayujya. So, Sayujya means going and merging with the effulgence of the Lord. So, this is not considered as a liberation. Out of 5 liberation, this 5th one is not at all considered as the Sayujya is not at all considered as what to say, liberation. Then, how to pursue all these things, how to elevate one from all these things. There are some key aspects according to our parampara. Let us discuss. So we know about Goloka Vrindavan. 4 points we will discuss. Goloka Vrindavan, liberation through devotion, that is Bhakti Yoga. Rejection of impersonal liberation, that is Brahman realization. We are talking about this particular 3rd point. Then Prema Bhakti or pure love of Godhead. This 3rd point, rejection of impersonal liberation. Because this is not considered as a actual liberation. From the diagram, from the picture which we are seeing is Sayujya, this left corner downward, the yellow color one. is called Sayujya. This Sayujya is not considered at all. The Sayujya is not comes under a Mukti state. This Salukya, Sarupya and Samipya and Sashti, and Prabhupada gives very good analogy about all these things from Nectar of Devotion actually. Here Prabhupada says, we know the analogy of sun rays and the sunlight, sun rays, and then the sun disk. So one should aspire the different grades of this. What is the different grade? Sayujya is a zero. The grade is zero. Then Salukya Mukti, right? Salukya Mukti means next level. Then third level. Third level is Sarupya Mukti. Then the fourth level is Samipya. Then the fifth level is Sashti Mukti. So, according to Prabhupada gives very nice analogy. So, we have to meditate on Satchidananda Vigraha. So, there are five different stages of liberation. And here it is specified that devotees who has always lived his lifetime here under the direction of the Supreme Lord as stated as evolved to point where he can, after quitting his body, go back to Godhead and engage directly in the association of the Supreme Lord. So here, in this particular point, liberation is very important. For liberation, one could understand what exactly. Right. So as we mentioned this particular process after this Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, in this out of five, we are not favoring this Brahma Jyoti level. Then what are the other levels? That is very important. So that should be attained only with the mercy of a pure devotee. Pure devotees reject the five kinds of liberation. So what Prabhupada here is recommended, don't stuck within this benefit. That is also one level of elevation. As we started in the beginning, like that, the Salukya, right? So let us understand Salukya. So what is Salukya? Promotion to same planet as Lord. Right? Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Lord Krishna says 7.3 Bhagavad Gita. Then one more reference Prabhupada gives. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. So are we qualified for this Salukya? That is $1 billion questions. Can we be, if the moment we go out of the cycle of birth and death, then we can come out of, like how Lord Kapila says, we can break this samsara, death and desires. Kind of mukti brings residence on a planet where the Supreme Personality of God. Samipya. In this liberation, a person becomes God's associate. Samipya. So there we can also take place in the God's associate. They follow him wherever he goes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever he goes, Nityananda Prabhu and all associates. They are always by his side in some place in the spiritual world. Samipya. That is understanding in one. Then Sarupya. Third one is Sarupya. In Sarupya liberation, the bodily features of the devotee are exactly like those of the Supreme Person, but for two or three symptoms found exclusively on the transcendental body of the Lord. Three words are, for example, the hair on the chest of the Lord particularly distinguishes him from his devotees. Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29, 13. So Sarupya, though we have that associated, the individual gets a spiritual body, which means that their identity is taken as a whole, meaning even from the rupa. So the form also like that. One could have, like Vishnu Dutas like that. Sarupya. Then Sarasti. In this liberation, a person attains opulence just like the Supreme Lord. One One name for him is Bhagavan, which means a person who possesses all fortunes. He has beauty, wealth, strength, fame, wisdom, and renunciation simultaneously and to the fullest degree. The person who has attained liberation has a chance to get some or all of the same opulence. As Lord will give this particular quality to a devotee, but still it is not complete. One should understand the topic what the sarasti. So even that is also not complete. Then sayujya. This is merging into the effulgence of the Lord. Sayujya we have discussed. That is already we have discussed. So the remaining four, this four also always troublesome. Even if devotee should be elevated even beyond all these things. Right? Our parampara, Rupa Goswami says, how one could become a pure devotee. I mean, how to elevate from all this. The heart of a devotee, instructions to the definition of a pure devotee by Rupa Goswami. The definition of a pure devotee as given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu can be summarized thus: his service is favorable and is always in relation to Krishna. Whatever they do, convert this dharma, artha, kama, moksha, including moksha. Right? That is the point here. It is discussed, but it is very, 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 very difficult. When Lord Himself says, it is, such a person is very rare. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. That is the point here. It's not that easy because it is not, that easy to become a pure devotee. So there are different stages out there. How to get into the different stages of bhakti? It should be very mindful, right? Here, stop staring, this liberation. We will get into even above the liberation. So what is this beyond this liberation and etc. For the pure devotees, the quality. Various sampradaya, they deal it with different ways. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, right? Dasa anu dasa. Are we following, dasa anu dasa? We are not. Why? Because we all are fallen. We are always trying to be a master. We never get into service of the Lord. Getting into the service of the Lord. Unallied. Prabhupada says, unallied devotional service. What are the qualities of Vaishnavas? Do we have, or whether we are in still, with the level of what to say, with materialistic propensity. Here our Acharya says, he mentioned these qualities of a devotee, 26 in number, are listed follows. So what are these 26 qualities? So that means if I have these qualities, then we could say that I am that Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. What are that? Kind to everyone. Are we kind to be everyone all the time? What is kind? Kind to everyone. Prabhupada is kind to everyone. He went to abroad and he preached to even hippies. Hippies has become happy. So he is so kind to everyone. Does not quarrel with anyone. There are various religious philosophers. There are other, religious followers. But Prabhupada proved that does not have any quarrel with anyone and always fixed in the absolute truth. So if we see, without unalloyed devotional service, fixed in the absolute truth. Otherwise, full surrender. Otherwise, he would have not preached. He would have not successful in his preaching movement. Though our gurus are giving so many instructions, or everybody could become Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya with that empowerment. That will come only because of fixed in the absolute truth. Then equal to everyone, then we can, like Krishna says, Samayojita Pandita. Are we like that? In every human or every jiva, the Pandita sees, Lord resides in the form of Paramatma. Are we seeing everyone equal? Very, there is a problem in our vision. Faultless. Are we being, away from aparad? Because of aparad only we are born here. Faultless quality. Because we are born. So in Kali Yuga, Kali Shudra Sambhava, we have been speaking so many nice things. But are we following it? Big question. Then charitable. What is the greatest charitable? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shared this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in our parampara, the Lord in the devotees mood, if he has not given this highest charity, Rama Sankirtana movement, that is the question of today. We all are sitting happily and enjoying, relishing it. Then the devotee should be mild. Right? We are associating with many people, even in our ISKCON. Right? There is a way of conveying. There are way of executing things. We should be so mild in that. We should have patience, not the way of delivering things. Then clean. Right? So for bodily clean, what devotee should do? We should wake up early and regulated lifestyle, and then we have to maintain the four regulative principles. Right? Attire. Ramanujacharya says how the devotee should be dressed means like a swan. Right? It should be neat and clean. This is about external activity. So the thought process, we should have strong belief in our scriptures, everything. Then our thought also will be so clear and simple. What is simple? Especially, way of leading life. Not by seeing, one could make out whether you are in a sattva guna or rajo guna or tamo guna. The way you lead your life, let it be so simple. Then benevolent. One should be so, mindful about all these qualities. Right? How to understand this benevolent quality. So the benevolent quality is having a desire to do good, kindly, charitable, right? Very loyal to the movement of Prabhupada. Not that I am a great devotee or I am a senior devotee. Not in that. That mood. Dasanu dasa. Again. The mood should be dasanu dasa. Then it is perfect. Otherwise, fault. Then peaceful. Right? Okay. God is not showing mercy in this life or in this particular thing, not with result oriented. Prabhupada always says, go for book distribution. Don't expect too much. Right? Be peaceful. So your duty, Lord has given you opportunity, go and serve. Okay, peaceful. And completely attached to Krishna. When it will come, complete attachment to Krishna. Detach, and that means detach from the materialistic thought process. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. Think of me and get into your process. Are we there always in that mood? We should think on that. has no material next, at least lower level, has no material anchoring. I want this car, I want this house, I want this dress, I want this. So many lists in our life, right? Materialistic anchoring. Then meek. Right? So this meek also very wonderful quality. How to understand this meek attitude. So the meek means quiet and doing what other people say without asking questions. Meek, okay, I don't want to probe into what you are telling. I believe in you. Right? In that quality. Okay, we know sometimes here and there we may believe falsely, but okay, let us give chance like that. And then steady, root, how much strong we are in this one. Right? We know how Pingala, she tried to shaken the chanting process of our Acharya, right? Then how steady he is, right? For the desire of having, joining with a sexual desire like that steadiness. Then self-control, right? What is the self-control? One should steadily progress into devotional service. What comes, what goes in the journey, right? Self-control. In the journey, we face so many hurdles. Sidoshana Sukadakka, like, good and bad, dualities, whether it is right or wrong, whether I am correct or that next devotee is correct, all these things. And then the next quality, eating habit. The devotee should have a proper eating habit. Does not eat more than required. Right? The pure devotee will not have this uh, habit of overeating or the regulated way of eating. Here it is mentioned. It is regulated way of eating. Got it? So that is the thing I'd like to highlight here. And then same. This how to understand this thing. The thing is proceeding from a sound mind or rational, right? The same, right? Mentally sound. So how one could be so strong in that? Right. Right. So the point here is one should be understood mindful this sane. Sane is the quality where the rational. Why should we should have whatever the act I do, whether it is going to please Krishna or not, and then respectful. We say only by wording. We have to be so mindful with respect to our acharya, senior devotees, even to our fellow equals, right? In that way, or even the one who is not, who is progressing. Suppose I may be elevated to the next level, then somebody is asking very entry level things. I should be very accommodating with all this category, and then respectful, humble. When this humbleness will come, it's a big, topic, humbleness. And then grave. How to understand this grave? Grave also a very wonderful quality. Do we have that graveness? A place where that is different, serious, right? One should be so serious, right? This devotional service is not. Sometimes we would have noticed in Prabhupada's class, when all the devotees were laughing, Prabhupada makes them to stop laughing. Right? So you should have seriousness. This is not funny thing what we are doing here, right? Like that. Then respect. Sorry, this I'm talking about the grade. Then compassionate, right? How Lord is compassionate on Arjuna, how Prabhupada is compassionate on us, right? And also friendly. Many times Prabhupada encouraged, if he himself cooks, he himself does everything. He is friendly. He makes jokes. He makes association with, and also poetic. Prabhupada is a perfect example for poetry. His books are the evidence. Expert. Prabhupada is the example. Silent. After doing everything, he will give the credit to others. That is the quality of Prabhupada. So these are the 26 qualities one could aspire to develop. If anybody is saying, I have arrived with this 26 qualities, then we have to be, we have to check whether am I a devotee or not. So we all could always, our mood should be, progressing due. So that should be the take-home message. And then finally, one should attain beyond this dharma, artha, kama, moksha, pure love of Godhead. So in our ISKCON movement, it teaches highest form of moksha is not merely liberation, but attaining prema bhakti, which is the pure, unalloyed love for Krishna. Because there I will get engagement. I can have association with the Lord. I can have association with, associates of the Lord. That is the point here, prema bhakti. So I love you, Krishna, because I don't know anything else other than you. Oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I don't want any followers. I don't want any other this thing. And one of our Parampara Acharya says, I don't want to get into this materialistic contamination, this samsara sagara. I don't want, to do all these things. I don't want moksha. Right? So even beyond, the devotees kept in a very exalted position. Why the devotees are kept even above the demigods? Because the devotees are always in the prema bhakti with the Lord. They don't want anything else other than Krishna. That is the prema bhakti. By saying this, here I'd like to stop here. Once again, thanks to temple management for giving me this opportunity, for render a little oral contribution to Prabhupada's movement. If there are any mistakes or any additives, you are welcome for the discussion now. If there are any questions, we can take it. Hare Krishna. This is the take-home message. One should go beyond this dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That is the take-home message. Then only the question or the subject matter of today is how to come out of this samsara saga. Since I am contaminated, so I am always within this three process only: dharma, artha, kama. Not even a moksha. That is the problem. So Prabhupada says, Krishna says, come above these flowery words, Arjuna. Don't stuck within this dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Let us also get into the mood of Prabhupada. If at all we get next birth, Prabhupada said, to take a birth in the Patala Loka. Lord will take care. Right? So that is a full surrender. Lord knows when to pitch into, when to, like in cricket we say, no. So what type of ball we should bowl? Whether this type of ball, spin bowling or pace bowling or left out swing or in swing or off spinning or leg spinning. All these things. Lord will take care of all those things. We don't want to let us be like that ball. Right? How Prabhupada moved, I am a puppet in your hand, oh my dear Lord. You make me to dance, you make me to, whatever. So that should be the mood of us. So here I'd like to stop here. If there are any suggestions or any queries, welcome. Hare Krishna. Here I'll stop. There are no questions. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Shall we end the session?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for wonderful class.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.